What's going on? This is Chris Weidman, and I'm checking out MMA Weigh-In.
David Razi for MMA Weigh-In at the Fighters Only 6th Annual Award Show here with potential Fighter of the Year, Chris Weidman. First of all, looking pretty spiffy.
Thank you, I appreciate it. You too, man. I like that little knot you got going on there.
Actually, I don't know if anybody's...
My manager tried to do that for me because I don't know how to tie a tie, and this is kind of like maybe what he was going for. Was that it didn't
actually
work out.
I just watched YouTube this morning to learn how to do this.
Really?
So just as a tip. And people probably don't know that me and Chris actually talked ahead of time and decided to match the purple ties.
He's lying about that, but he wasn't lying about YouTube and doing it this morning.
So we talked, I think it was about 2 years ago. You hadn't had the Anderson Silva fight yet. It was just something that it seemed like maybe wasn't going to happen. You go from that to knocking out Anderson Silva to possibly ending Anderson Silva's career.
Yeah, it's crazy if you think of it that way. I don't think that much like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really, you know, I got Vitor Belfort now, and I'm just focused on that. But now thinking about it, you bring me back there. Yeah, I remember I wanted that fight with Anderson Silva. I was telling people I think I could finish him. I think I beat him. People calling me retarded. They still call me retarded, but it's okay. And I did beat him, and I beat him twice. The last one wasn't the way I would imagine beating him. I actually would rather knock on that way, especially the way with his leg breaking and him being out like that. You know, it's just part of the sport, and I would have much rather finished him in that first round or finish him some other time during that fight. Besides,
before we get into the Vitor Belfort fight, besides the way the fight ended, is it a little irritating that it ended that way just because of you kind of had the thing the first time where everybody said, oh, he put his hands down, he was playing around, and now it's some other, even though you checked the kick perfectly, you still kind of have those people saying that stuff. Does that kind of bother you?
I mean, at first, initially, I'm like, oh, here we go again. But just reflecting back on both fights, I'm extremely confident that I'm the better fighter. I'm very secure in that, and I knew there was no way he was beating me. And I could say that without blinking an eye.
Yeah.
But like after the first fight, I'm like, all right, you know, maybe, you know, people are saying, you know, he had his hands down, he plays. I know he does that all the time, but I'm like, all right, let me prove them wrong. Yeah. But after being with him now for 4 rounds, I just knew he wasn't beating me.
Yeah. Getting into Vitor Belfort and the Anderson Silva fight, a lot of people said Chris Weidman would be foolish to stand with Anderson Silva. He should go use his wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and all that. And now you have another guy, and Vitor Belfort has some pretty powerful knockout power. Are you going to stand with this guy too?
Yeah, I'm gonna stand with anybody. We start standing. If there's an opening for a takedown, I'm gonna go for it. But I'm not. I don't ever force anything. I have the same game plan for every single guy I fight. I'm well-rounded enough to have that game plan. Where if I'm standing, I'm uncomfortable, I'll look for a takedown. If there's a situation where I think I have an advantage in a certain situation, I'm going for that situation. But I just kind of roll with it, man. My big thing is just to pressure and make them fight me. Try to break them physically and mentally.
One of the most anticipated fights of the year, Chris Weidman taking on Vitor Belfort. Congratulations on all the success, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.